My name is Inocencio Amaro, and I am a Philadelphia police officer on the SWAT team in Philly. The reason why I wanted to be a police officer slash SWAT officer was when I was a kid, back in the early 70s, there was a show called SWAT used to come on, and I would rush home from school, do my homework real quick, and turn on the TV and used to watch the SWAT show that used to come on. And I liked everything about what I saw in the on the show, as far as cops running into dangerous places to get criminals off the street, and they carried high powered rifles. They used to get up on the roof. They were called the snipers. They used to flip their hat around and look through a scope rifle and either take out a bad guy that needed to be taken out, or just give information to the other officers that were down below. And I love the show. It's one of the most shows I watched when I was a kid, and I just thought to myself, that's what I wanted to be when I grow up. No, I wasn't looking to be a hero. Just basically be a cop just to stop crime. Well, I lived in Philly. We moved there in like 1969. My father moved us from Puerto Rico. My father actually was a police officer. He started in 1970 and he retired in 1990. And like some people say, well, you follow in your father's footsteps. But I actually, when I was a kid, I actually knew that I wanted to be a SWAT officer. A lot of kids say, yeah, they want to be basketball players, football players. And, a lot of those dreams don't come true for kids. It's just stuff they say. But for me, I knew I wanted to be it, and I pursued it after I graduated high school and went through various jobs. And when it was time for the hiring procedure to go on, I filed for the paperwork, put in forms to become a police officer, and that's how it all started for me. Right now I work I've been in the SWAT unit going on 26 years. In October this year, I'll be 26 years. I actually been a police officer. You have to be a police officer first. I was actually a police officer, started out in the 26th district, which is a pretty busy district. Kept you running here and there, busy. You got to learn a lot of the police work. And I think my second year into being a police officer, I put in a transfer. You have to put in a transfer to any kind of units you want to go to, and I put transfer in my second year in the department, and about a year later I was called, and I have to take you have to go through a test before you can just become a SWAT officer. You have to do like run in and shoot in. You have to shoot a certain score. They want to check your endurance out. You have to run up flights of stairs and stuff like that. And I think it was October of 1992. They actually called me and they told me I was transferred to the SWAT unit. No, I'm just a police officer. Okay. I'm not a supervisor or anything. I work the 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. What the SWAT team basically does is serve a lot of high risk warrants for detectives, whether it's from homicide, robberies. If they have to go after anybody with a gun for stabbings or killings or anything like that, they call for us and we'll go and serve the warrants for them. We also patrol the streets, the high crime districts in the city, and we are there to supplement the police officers that are on the street. If they need backup, we're the ones they call when they need backup. If they're getting shot at, they call us, and we're right there and to back them up or to do whatever we have to do to rectify the situation. Well, like my mom, she didn't want me to be a police officer, but she knew it was something I wanted to do. And then again, it was all my decision. She couldn't tell me not to be one because I already was of age. if my son wanted to be a police officer, I wouldn't want him to be a police officer in the city, a big city like Philadelphia, because it's pretty dangerous. And he's not a kid that grew up in the city, so he doesn't know. He's not like real streetwise. If he did want it to be a police officer, I would encourage him to become a police officer in a smaller like a township or something like that. I couldn't if it's something he wanted to do, I couldn't stop him because you know I would try to help him out as much as I can and tell him about the job and you know just to help him stay safe if he actually wanted to do the job. They have like this is Swedesboro, New Jersey, and they do have their SWAT team. Like other townships, like some townships don't have like a SWAT team, so they'll use like the local state SWAT team if something big breaks out or something. Some jurisdictions they have like multiple officers on the SWAT team, and they get together, and if it's like say 3 jurisdictions, they'll meet up somewhere and go and handle the problem wherever the jurisdiction whatever jurisdiction they need to be in. As far as like in the township,
Yeah.
I only know about our training. I'm not sure about any. I mean, it's probably basically the same. I'm pretty sure they have to do a lot of shooting because we have to shoot as good as we can. As far as like endurance and stuff, I know they're like they believe in Florida and Miami. You have to from watching their SWAT team on TV. I know they have to take a certain test, like maybe every 3 months, to make sure they can still shoot and their endurance, keep their endurance up and stuff like that. In Philly, we pretty much we do a lot of training as far as shooting and like running and stuff, keeping our endurance up and all that. But it's not a mandatory like a test that we have to take like every few months or something like that. My wife and I met in the police academy in Philly because in Chester, where she worked at, there wasn't a police academy, so they sent them, her and like 7 other recruits up to our academy. That's where we met. I knew when she first, when we graduated from the police academy, she was actually working inside. I think she was working for the chief, so I knew she wasn't on the streets. But later on, they did put her on the streets, and I know it's kind of dangerous. Even though she has to do the job, I would have rather have seen her inside, knowing how dangerous it was back then. But it's something that she had to do. When there's a warrant for us to serve or something, I believe that whoever's in the unit, I mean, they get paid just like me. They should be able to do the exact job I do, whether it's male or female. I know there's some guys that don't believe that the female can do the job that a male can do in the unit. As far as if there's a drug, like say a drug warrant, we're about to go serve, and they know that there's guns in the property and dogs. I have no problem sending a female through the door first. Some guys believe that the female is not going to be able to react if somebody starts shooting at her or if a dog comes in and attack her. And I mean, it's wrong, but some guys will not send the female in first. I mean, it's basically up to the supervisor, but as the officers that has the job, so to say, what we'll do is we'll write up like a lineup of what officers are going to go into the house, what officers are going to be containment on the house. I have no problem putting a female in there. If she's there, she can do the job. But there are some other officers that believe that she can't do the job and they won't put her in. I've heard officers like saying things about the females in the unit where I don't think they should belong here, or they're not going to be able to do what we do, stuff like that. I feel as though if they're there, we have to give them a chance. It's not up to us to decide whether they belong there or not. It's up to actually belongs up to them whether if they can do the job or not. I've been on a job 29 years, and I've seen a lot of females that can do the job. I see a lot of females that will not rush into a situation, as you know, they might go rushing in, whether like say if it's a person with a gun, say he's shooting at the cops, if he's down an alley or somewhere. I've seen situations where the females will stand back and they will let the guys, male officers, go in first, and they might come in behind them. But and I've seen other situations where jobs are going on and females are just sitting in their cars in the parking lot just talking while other officers are rushing to the job. I mean, like I said, I've seen plenty of women do the job and they get into it. I've seen them fight, and I mean, I don't know. Some females might think that just because they're getting into the job that they might can get a job inside where it's not dangerous. I believe some of them think like that. Not all of them, because some of them do want to be on the street. But I have seen female officers that go out there and really do the job and they hustle. And I've seen others that are just laid back, and whether they're scared or not, I don't know. They don't want to get hurt or something. But I've seen a lot of that in the 29 years that I've been in the department. No, I don't have a different outlook on them. If Even if my wife worked in Philly, if she had to be on the street, yeah, I would try to, you know, tell her as much as I know about the job to try to keep her safe. Would I have want her to work inside? Yes. To tell you the truth, yes, I would want her to work inside because it's dangerous in the street. But every female can't work inside. There have to be females on the street. And no, I don't have a different outlook on them. I believe there's a lot of females out there that can. I've seen a lot of females do a lot better on some jobs than male officers. Um, yeah, I would say there was just about as much as there is now. Right, maybe a little, maybe a little bit more, but we had quite a few. And when I started out in the district, we had quite a few females in there, and I worked with some of the females in the district, and I had no problems working with them. Like I said, they believe they can do the job. They have to go out there and prove themselves that they can do the job. So even though if they are doing the job or not, guys are still going to talk about them. There's some guys now that I know that don't want to work with females because they're scared that they might get hurt because a female might not be able to help protect them or whatnot. I have no problem working with a female. I work with quite a few females in my time in the SWAT unit and when I started off in the 26th district.